want to talk about national security and the issues that are surrounding that as they play in this election, I got a great gift to you. Paul Rieckhoff, national security and political analyst, friend of mine. I've been leaning on him for years, understands the mentality of our fighting men and women, and much broader in terms of where Americans are about their demands for our democracy. How do you feel about the night so far, Handsome?
Well, I think there's an untold story here, Chris. There's no red wave. There's no blue wave, but there might be a camouflage wave. There are veterans winning all across this country from both parties, over 50 and counting now. The ghost of John McCain is strong in America right now. I think they're appealing uniquely to independent Americans. They're appealing to folks from all backgrounds. You've got high-profile wins like Wes Moore for governor, Ron DeSantis, obviously, for governor in Florida. You got J.D. Vance. You may have Mark Kelly out in Arizona. You've also got a CIA agent in Evan McMullin. So I think the national security community is having a good night. And they represent integrity. They represent patriotism. They represent some populism and I think a degree of independence. And I've said this before. You know, I think we may be looking at a matchup in 6 years from now that could be someone like Wes Moore versus someone like Ron DeSantis for president. There's something happening here tonight, and I think it's very much underreported.
Why do you think that the returns tonight were as muted as they were? You know, I mean, the hype was that this may be epic proportions. Now it may be one of the smallest margins of turnover in the initial midterm after a presidential victory.
You know, I think the other side of this, too, Chris, is how many Americans are still not voting. You know, we get over 50% in America, and we think that's a good thing. But I think many millions of Americans are still not engaged in the process. They're fed up with the process. They're disgusted by the process. I think what John Updike was saying earlier really has power. You know, I'm an independent American. I am a veteran. I cannot vote in the primaries in my state, in New York. I think that's ridiculous. I can serve overseas. I can be wounded in combat, but I can't vote in publicly funded primaries here in America. And I think there is an angry, disaffected, patriotic middle, and not even just a middle, a group of people that are none of the above. They just reject both parties, and they're looking for alternatives, and they're looking for leadership. And oftentimes, it's people like CIA agents. It might be a former football player, but it's almost always someone from the national security community, a CIA agent, an astronaut, or a veteran. They can get you points in places and in congressional races where other folks can't.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.